we speak Spanish at home, have a Dominican family, and when my daughter was 3 years old, she needed speech therapy. And since we speak Spanish at home, I was looking for a Spanish-speaking speech therapist, and I could not find one in Richmond. After doing a little bit of research, I found out that there were only 89 Spanish-speaking speech therapists in the entire state of Virginia.
Wow.
At that time, I was getting a master's in Spanish, and I was working as a Spanish professor. So I decided to get another master's in speech language pathology so that I could fill that gap. So I went in with the idea of wanting to open a practice and kind of provide that service for the community, and that's how I became a speech therapist.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tia Javier, now that's a story right there. When you look at that, everyone has an idea. How do you take that idea and turn it into a practice that has a buzz of the streets talking?
Yeah, so basically I knew, from being from the community, I knew the gaps that already existed. And I'm always looking for something to help others. So I am the first and only, not only that, being a Black woman, owning a practice of that sort. I think that it gets people talking, especially for the Spanish-speaking community. Again, there are only now there are 91 Spanish-speaking speech therapists in the state of Virginia. However, in the United States, there are only 225 Black Spanish-speaking speech therapists. So that's also another big thing. So I have people from Charlottesville, from Williamsburg area that are traveling to my practice because it's one of a kind and it's very new, a very new concept for the area.
One of my Tia Javier, bilingual therapy is who she is. So you hung your shingle out. When did you know you had something?
I knew that I had something the moment that I couldn't find any help for my daughter. So again, at that time, I was already in school with the idea of being a Spanish professor, where I worked at Virginia Union for a few years. But when I found out that there were hardly any Spanish-speaking speech therapists, I knew that that was something that would be needed and something that would be appreciated in the community. So I went, I got another master's degree, and with the idea of opening my practice, I reached out to pediatricians in the area, and that's kind of how it started.
So you're out there and you're starting the business. What would you say was the hardest part? Okay, so you had the clinician part down. Let's put on the business owner hat right there. What was some of the challenges and also the wins that you had?
So kind of like you, I've been a hustler all my life.
No hustlers out there.
So bilingual therapy is actually like my 8th business that I've started. So I've tried little things. I actually grew up in poverty in Southside Richmond. So I've always had that hunger to get out of poverty and do something with myself. So I've always been looking for a way to kind of get out of that. And language has always been a thing. I speak 4 languages: English, Spanish, French, and Portuguese. And I love helping people. So